So from a young age, I've always been intensely curious. I remember when I was little, I would take the trash can out of my parents' bathroom and flip it over and stand on it in my room and be like, this is what it's like to be 5 feet tall. And then I would go out into the world and I'd be like, that guy must be 5 feet tall. That guy must be 6 feet tall. I wonder what it's like to be as tall as that person. What's their perspective like? So even literally, I have always been thinking about perspectives, and not even in like a compassionate way, just in like a truly curious way. I feel like I've always just been a storyteller. That's my medium, and people say like, what's your medium? And I think, I don't really care about what I'm good at or what colors I like. I just care about how to tell the story. So whatever way is appropriate to tell a story, that's my medium. The word Sonder is a realization that everyone around you has a life as vivid and complex as your own life. And the way that word was introduced to me was from a student, actually. I was teaching a printmaking lesson, and my kids were coming up with really like rigid, cliche themes for their work. And so I just made a little improv activity where I was like, you know what, everyone grab a dictionary or a computer, we're gonna look up words that we've never heard of. And one girl came up with this word Sonder. And that sort of coincided with a period in my life, in my artwork, where I was kind of working with themes of like collective consciousness and curiosity within our collective consciousness, sort of this voyeuristic tendency that we have as people to know about each other, and identify what we have in common and how could we use that to bring empathy to one another. So I wanted to illustrate the idea of Sonder in my work through the subject of strangers, and I wanted to collect snippets of their lives, but I didn't want it to be solicited. I wanted it to be raw. So instead of soliciting those ideas, I just listened. Like anything, just like honest. I was like, that's fascinating if you think about it. And if you think about it and apply it to your life or your dad's life or your partner, like you apply it to some sort of context that you understand, you're just like, it fills you with empathy, or it fills you with connection or curiosity, which are all innately empathetic. The idea of using clothes was to capture the essence of the person, so that there was something to relate to, there was something there, but also to keep it anonymous so that the viewer could take those characters and find their own characters to plug into those clothes. It's interesting to be the so-called artist of this series, because I feel more like maybe a curator or a narrator. Since the installation in 2018, the work has evolved. It's about double the inventory, and I've been working with themes that are a little more confrontational, that allow viewers to think more critically about what they're reading and what they're looking at. This series has been just a necessary part of my development as a person. I feel like I know myself better, and I feel because I've always been interested in these things. I've always been interested in people in like very small and obscure ways, and having a platform to explore those things makes me feel like purposeful, or makes my interests feel purposeful. Once we allow ourselves to be curious, when we catch a snippet of someone's life, we naturally find grace, or we're naturally inspired to be gracious towards someone. And sometimes it actually outlines like the worst of us, like our judgments or our biases, and even that is like a powerful opportunity to kind of take inventory on why you made a judgment or an assumption and sort of combat those things within yourself.